Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I appreciate all of you who have been here before and coming back. Today we're going to make a fun mandala. Bought this new paper, these little squares. They're the perfect size for just a half hour, 45-minute project, and you can feel like you have it contained and easily done. Here's a quick look at the tools I'm using. Some pens, we'll do some shading at the end, rulers, and this little geometry set, or this little geometry tool that I got. It came with a small circle compass inside, but I decided that I just wanted to use this as an outline. I thought it fit the paper well. I could go ahead and just trace it and then see where we ended up. So first I wanted to find my middle. The easiest way to do that is to draw diagonal lines across. Once I had my diagonal lines, I went ahead and added the vertical and horizontal, so I had a good center and a nice pie shape to start the project. Picked a thick pen and did the outline on the outside. So I toyed for a little while with the idea of creating another diamond within it, but I just didn't like it. I wasn't feeling it, so I went back to the original. So the first thing I do is the inside circle. It's where my mandala is going to live for today. And then I decided to go ahead and do all 3 circles on the outside edge. I just outlined them with that same dark pen that I used for the edge of the square and the center edge of the mandala. Keep toying with the idea of adding a diamond shape in the middle, but it just doesn't seem to work, so I scratched that idea again, but don't you worry, I played with it long enough that I can only imagine you'll be seeing it in one of the next few videos. I think those interlocking squares would be a lot of fun. But today I was feeling circles and decided to stick with that. Started to start the outside circles with a string connecting the 3 circles. Go ahead and go around them a few times. We usually call that an aura, just outlining that outside shape. Went ahead and darkened it and shaded in the side. I kind of like how it made it look like moons. Remember to breathe. The drawings that I do are always done with just the goal of having fun and relieving some stress. Some pen to some paper and some time to myself. We all have 50 million things we have to get done in a day, but I have learned that it's really important to take some time and give your mind a chance to rest. So as I move forward in this project, I decide to give myself some pencil markings for light circles, help me with my spacing, be able to make the project a lot easier. When we do these projects, we don't always have to be exact. You don't have to use a ruler. We can always just look at what appears close to the eye. So for this next section, I grabbed my pencil and I decided to make just a small mark on what visually looks like the center of each segment. I'm going to be making a little V shape, and I just wanted a small visual of approximately the middle. Not worth getting a ruler out. Definitely don't need to be exact. I'm starting on the outside and working my way in. These simple V shapes make a nice flower on the outside. I mark the center lines first just to help me so that my angles stay the same. And then here's where the zen or the quiet mind comes. Simple lines, one after another, in a row, where you can kind of go on autopilot and just calm yourself down. Take some time for some breathing, enjoy the calm music, and have fun. Oftentimes my projects, I like to have a kind of a reoccurring theme or to kind of have some similarities. So I decided to do the same thing on the innermost circle as I did on the outer. Make my lines first, and then to go in and just do some simple small lines together. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a lot more about the process. Earlier I went back in with a dark pen and did an outline of that outside flower. So now I'm going to go back in with a thinner pen and do an aura and really play up that outside flower theme. So where should we go next? As I look at the paper, I try to decide what would be fun, what am I feeling at the moment. This is a Zentangle pattern. I'll try to look up the name of it if I can find it. I remember that I learned it years ago, but I could probably find it. There's a website called tanglepatterns.com. I'll add a link into it. It's a fabulous website to learn new patterns. And I know a long time ago they used to do it where you could buy like a book of all of them or a download of all of them. I'm not sure if all that is still done. I added another circle. What I wanted that to do is just give me a guideline of when these lines would stop. That way I could keep going through it without having to know where my end line wanted it to be, but that at the end I would end up with another flower type shape. I'm going to go ahead and outline that with a dark pen again. That second line helped to keep my spacing somewhat close. Not perfect, but good enough. Now, if you watched my last pattern page, I did a whole row of these little 9 flowers. They're a lot of fun, and I've been trying different things to do with them in different projects. And so I decided that center core could use that circle. I also think that it helps kind of define that flower where I didn't necessarily stop at the same spot. It really helped to bring it together. So now we all know this is my favorite part. We get to go in and add little things. Whatever catches our eye, whatever we would like to see next. Those little rainbow shapes gave me the idea of yet another little pattern that we could outline. I hope everything's going well with you. I've been doing these channels now just since January, so we're at about 8 months, and it's been a lot of fun. I've really learned a lot, and hopefully I'm getting a little bit better again, getting my practice back in, that muscle memory back in. I really enjoy these channels. If you have a second, leave a comment. Let me know what you like doing. Is there a pattern that you've been enjoying? I've been enjoying these little 9 flowers. But if there's something that you've been enjoying, I would love to hear about it. There's just something fun about pen and paper. I enjoy Zentangling. I enjoy doing the patterns. But sometimes these little simple, I call them a mandala. I don't know what officially makes something a mandala. But I like these because it's just such small, easy lines. Haven't really had to draw anything that's big or extensive. And I enjoyed the repetition of the patterns. Being able to have the 4 circles on the outside, or these 9s that all have the similar shading on the one side. Let's just keep filling in those blank spots. Where is there enough space to put a circle or an arc or a V or a line? Where can I repeat a pattern that we've seen before? Now let's go ahead and erase some of these lines. They're starting to distract me. I'm having problems seeing things, so I wanted to see what it looked like cleaned up a little bit. In each of these petals, I like to add some weight. I believe the original Zentangle did as well, the original pattern that I'd seen years ago. Underneath each one makes them look like they're laying on top of each other. Little shadings like that, whether you do it with a pen or you do it with a pencil, really make a difference in a paper. Now when I moved out to these circles, I wasn't real sure what I wanted to do. So I went ahead and just grabbed my pencil so that if I made a mistake, I'd be able to easily correct it. I was really enjoying this page. I was enjoying the repetition of some of the patterns, and I didn't want to lose that. So I grabbed my pencil just so that I could feel comfortable in being a little daring. So here's where I start to notice what I had done. I don't think at the time when I drew this, of course this voiceover is me in the future, but when I did this, I hadn't even realized it until now that I had actually done these differently. And notice here I started a point and go out to an arc, but then on this one, I did it the different way. I went to the point is on the outside line rather than the point being at the circle. So now that I see that they're different, where the points are at the circle or the points are on the edge, I had to decide which one I liked better. So I kind of looked at one side, put my hand over it so I could kind of see if that's the shape that I liked, and I decided I liked the point at the circle. So I changed the other two and came back in, and now they're all the same. But now that I can feel comfortable with it, now that I'm happy with it, I go back in and add my lines. When I did my very first started doing this, I would do an entire project in pencil. And then once that project was done, then I would go back over it in pen. I don't like spending that much time on it now. That was definitely my insecurities. But I will often go back in and do pencil when I'm not sure how something will look. Truth is, there are often times I wish I used a pencil once I realize I've made a mistake in a shape, but that's okay. But there's no mistakes. There's just joy and learning. We make one line after another, create a pattern, and repeat it through the page. And the process just keeps repeating itself until you feel like the paper's full. It's not always clear when to stop. To be honest, for me, it's usually more about how much time I have to give than how a paper looks. This is the first time I've used this paper. I think it's a 9x9. I'll include a link in the subscription if you wanted to give them a try. It came in like a pack of 100 of them. And I love this size. It's easy to complete. I don't know if any of you have attention spans like mine, but they can wane. I can lose interest in a project if one is too big. So it's nice to be able to start and end a project in one sitting. So now let's do some shading. There's basically two different ways that I've seen people shade often. They pretend there's a light source on one side, and then whatever you would have, pretend something's blocking it, and shade that way. Or what I'm doing here is I'm shading along the outsides of things, the outside of a circle, the inside of the petals. I almost always go back in with a blending tool or a tortilla afterwards because I do like the lines to be super soft, and I really like going back in with an eraser and cleaning it up. I don't like the whole page to look smudged. So for me, I like to go back in and use an eraser and kind of define where that shade goes. I want to encourage you all to have some fun with shading. Try some new things, try some different things. Consider shading with maybe a colored pencil, shade with hash marks or with dots, with small lines. Use a gray pen. You can come back in and even add some highlights with a light pen or a light colored pencil. There's a lot that can be done with shading. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have a moment and you're willing to, please subscribe or like this video. Leave me a comment or a thumbs up. Let me know if you tried any of these techniques. I'd love to see what you're drawing. We all have so many things going on in our day. We have so many different responsibilities and things that pull us. I hope you get to find 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, just some time to focus on something other than what else is going on. Focus on other than our pain, something other than our worries, and just keep putting one line after another and end up with a pretty little page. I really hope you guys enjoyed this paper as much as I did today. I found this one to be very relaxing and turned out kind of fun. The nice thing about pen and paper is any pen and any paper can work. And that's it. This is the paper for today. This is the project for this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've sure enjoyed drawing it. I think of you all as I'm drawing, and I hope things are going well. If you have a moment, please like and subscribe. It really helps my little channel grow, and I appreciate it. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one soon.